rise, please. We open in prayer by Justice Hensley, immediately following with the Pledge of Allegiance by Justice Lucas.
Dear Heavenly Father, we just come to you at this time to thank you for this opportunity we have to come together and serve the people of this county. We just ask that you go with us through this meeting and help us do a good, thorough job. Lord, we just ask for breaking this heat if any way possible. It's making a lot of people rough life and just put a lot of stress on folks. We just ask for some relief there. We just most of all, thank you for your Son, Jesus Christ, and plan of salvation. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You have a seat. Roll call.
Holt.
Here.
Nikki. Here. Sarah. Here. Phillips.
Here.
Hensley.
Here.
Bradford.
Here.
Tatum.
Here.
Lemmings.
Here.
Bass.
Here. On the agenda, do I hear a motion to dispense with the audible reading of the transfers?
Motion.
Second.
Motion and a second to dispense with the audible reading of the transfers. Any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Also, we have 3 readings that are going to be required on the ordinance that Nikki has sponsored. Do I hear a motion to conduct all 3 reads tonight with the second 2 being by title only?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion by Mary Phillips, a second by Brian Tatum on that. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, and then are there any other additions or corrections to the agenda?
I just need to ask a question, Judge.
Okay.
In reference to our committee meeting the other night, did we not discuss that there should be something for Judge Weaver tonight so we can increase our money? I didn't see anything in the packet.
On ARP?
I guess, was it ARP? Yeah.
Yes.
And
Like you were doing resolutions for
we can do, we can take a break and go through that together.
So can we add that?
Yes.
Do I hear a motion?
I make a motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so we need to have a roll call vote on the agenda as a whole. Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Holt.
Yes.
Nikki.
Yes.
Sarah.
Yes.
Phillips.
Yes.
Hensley.
Yes.
Bradford.
Yes.
Tatum.
Yes.
Lemmings.
Yes.
Bass.
You have copies of the minutes and the financial reports. Do I hear a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve written. Second.
I have a motion by Brian Tatum, a second by Russell Hensley to approve the minutes and financial reports. Any discussion? All in favor of approving those signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Next is county judge's comments. You guys have a copy of the latest compliance guide that was published by the Association of Local Counties. I encourage you to keep that near and dear. Mark in it, highlight in it. Use a little Post-it notes or do whatever. It's yours and it's a really good tool. Probably 99.999% of everything we're going to need is in this book.
Is there a copy edition?
Tabs.
You know, the full edition takes up a whole wall, so they've done pretty good to consolidate.
Yes, thank you.
That's all I have. Do we have any elected officials or department heads that would like to address the court?
I would. Judge, back up.
Come on up. Oh, yes.
Back up. Treasurer's report.
Those were the financials.
Oh, that was all, I'm sorry. Hey, I slept for a little bit.
Go on, you bet.
I just want to come and kind of give everybody, I gave the budget committee last night an update, but I kind of want to give the whole forum. First of all, thank y'all for, I sent emails out to all of you. Y'all are all very supportive of our plans. They are working. We've had a few little hiccups, but we are working in the office pretty much some days all day, some days half a day. And then we're at home, the other half's phone's ringing to my house. And it's ringing, but everything's going good. The heat and air guys, the whole crew is there every day. They've made a lot of progress. It is a mess. Nikki has come and seen that mess, and it is a mess.
Truly a mess.
But they are pushing through. It's severely hot in there. I think the county clerk and the assessor sent us some extra fans today. That has helped. It's coming along. It's just a process. They had told me originally 2 weeks without air. Then he said it's probably more like 3. So this is our second week, the way I count it. So hopefully in just another week we'll have our air. Tomorrow morning, we're not going until the afternoon because the crane is coming tomorrow to set the new units on top of the building. And once they get those set and get the rest of their copper ran, then I think they'll be able to get ready to hook us up. But now I don't take that for, I don't know much about it. I just know what they tell me. But it's going to be nice. We've got a lot of cleanup to do, a lot of touch up to do when it's done. But if y'all will bear with me, I'm bearing through it. So, but it's going good. I just wanted to give y'all that update and thank you for supporting me in our little endeavor here. But, okay.
Thank you.
Y'all have any questions for me?
Hang in there.
Thank you. Any other department heads or officials that would like to address the court? Court, do you have any questions for any of the officials here? All right, we'll move along to new business, and our first ordinance is sponsored by Mary Phillips.
Be it enacted by the Quorum Court of the County of Van Buren, State of Arkansas, an appropriation ordinance to be entitled, an appropriation ordinance to amend the original appropriation ordinance, number 2021-51, the annual operating budget for 2022, to increase the projected revenue and appropriate $112,900 into county general number 1000-400 for law enforcement officer salary stipends for full-time law enforcement officers in accordance with Act 2224 of the 2022 fiscal session of the Arkansas Legislature. Whereas Act 224 of the 2022 fiscal session of the Arkansas Legislature appropriated funds for the law enforcement stipend grants for the fiscal year ending June 30, 2023. And whereas Act 224 authorizes a one-time stipend payment in the amount of $5,000 to each eligible full-time law enforcement officer as described in the Act. And whereas, as required by Act 224, taxes such as the employee's share of Social Security and Medicare will be withheld along with retirement. Now, therefore, be it ordained by the Quorum Court of Van Buren County, Arkansas, that $112,900 be appropriated into number 1000-400 Sheriff's Office budget according to Act 224 as stated below. Number 1000-400-1005 premium compensation 100,000. Number 1000-400-1006 Social Security is 7,650. Number 1000-400-1007 retirement is 5,250, totaling $112,900. I move that we accept this ordinance.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt this ordinance. Any discussion? Roll call vote.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Is this money coming from the state?
Yes.
Okay. So we're not out of it.
No,
It's passing through us.
Gotcha.
Yes, through the legislature, and they approved it, and then they'll.
Any other discussion? Roll call vote?
Holt.
Yes.
Nikki.
Yes.
Sarah.
Yes.
Phillips.
Yes.
Hensley.
Yes.
Bradford.
Yes.
Tatum.
Yes.
Lemmings.
Yes.
Bass.
Yes.
O 2022-33.
What was that?
33.
33.
Thank you. Our next ordinance is sponsored by Esther Bass.
Being enacted by the Quorum Court of the County of Van Buren, State of Arkansas, an appropriation ordinance to be entitled, an appropriation ordinance to amend the original appropriation ordinance number 2021-51, the annual operating budget for 2022, to increase the projected revenue of county general and appropriate $900 into the election commission budget number 1000-109. Whereas Van Buren County has received compensation of $900 for election commission training, and whereas $300 is due to each commissioner that attended, and whereas the monies will need to be appropriated into the appropriate line item in the election commission budget. Now, therefore be it ordained by the Quorum Court of Van Buren County, Arkansas, that section $900 be appropriated into number 1000-109-1002, salaries part-time. I move for its adoption.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt this ordinance. Any discussion? Roll call vote?
Holt.
Yes.
Nikki.
Yes.
Sarah.
Yes.
Phillips.
Yes.
Hensley.
Yes.
Bradford.
Yes.
Tatum.
Yes.
Lemmings.
Yes.
Bass.
Yes.
O 2022-34.
Our next ordinance is sponsored by Justice Hensley.
Being enacted by the Quorum Court of the County of Van Buren, State of Arkansas, an appropriation ordinance to be entitled, an appropriation ordinance to amend the original appropriation ordinance number 2021-51, the annual operating budget for 2022, to increase the projected revenue of county general and appropriate $206.40 into the sheriff's office budget number 1000-400-3104 and $1,127.39 into the detention center budget number 1000-418-2009. Whereas Van Buren County Sheriff's Office received $206.40 from donations for K-9 expense, and whereas this money will need to be appropriated into the sheriff's office budget number 1000-400-3104 K-9 expense grant donation, and whereas the detention center received reimbursement of $1,127.39 for inmate supplies, and whereas this money will need to be appropriated into the detention center budget number 1000-418-2009 inmate supplies. Now therefore it be ordained by the Quorum Court of Van Buren County, Arkansas, that section 1, $206.40 be appropriated into the sheriff's office budget number 1000-400-3104 K-9 expense grant donations. Section 2, $1,127.39 be appropriated into detention center budget number 1000-418-2009 inmate supplies. I move we approve as written.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt this ordinance. Any discussion? Roll call.
Holt.
Yes.
Nikki.
Yes.
Sarah.
Yes.
Phillips.
Yes.
Hensley.
Yes.
Bradford.
Yes.
Tatum.
Yes.
Lemmings.
Yes.
Bass.
Yes.
O 2022-35.
Thank you. Our next ordinance is sponsored by Justice Brown. Would you please complete the first reading?
Being enacted by the Quorum Court of the County of Van Buren, State of Arkansas, an ordinance to be entitled, an ordinance to change the hourly rate for a part-time employee position in the Circuit Court Division 1 budget number 1000-402. Whereas an ordinance number 22-06, an hourly rate was approved at $11.28 for 37.5 hours per pay period. And whereas it was intended for the part-time position to be paid at $12.50 at part-time hours until the monies were depleted. And whereas $1,985.41 remains in the part-time line number 1002 in the Circuit Court Division 1 budget number 1000-402. And whereas $12.50 per hour will need to be paid for the part-time position until this money is depleted. Now therefore it be ordained by the Quorum Court of Van Buren County, Arkansas, that one, $12.50 be paid per hour for the part-time employee position in the Circuit Court Division 1, budget number 1000-402, beginning of the approval of this ordinance. I make a motion we approve as written.
Second.
A motion and a second to adopt this ordinance. Do I hear, well, that was the first reading, so. Do I hear a motion to approve that as the first reading?
So be it.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve that as first reading. Any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Excellent. Justice Brown, would you care to read that a second time by title only, please?
Being enacted by the Quorum Court of the County of Van Buren, State of Arkansas, an ordinance to be entitled, an ordinance to change the hourly rate for a part-time employee position in Circuit Court Division 1 budget number 1000-402.
Thank you. Do I hear a motion to approve the second reading?
So moved.
We have a motion and a second to approve the second reading of this ordinance. It was motioned by Esther Bass and second by Justice Phillips. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And Justice Brown, would you care to do a third and final reading by title only?
Okay. Being enacted by the Quorum Court of the County of Van Buren, State of Arkansas, an ordinance to be entitled, an ordinance to change the hourly rate for a part-time employee position in the Circuit Court Division 1, budget number 1000-402.
Thank you. Do I hear a motion to approve that as the third and final reading?
So be it.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the third and final reading. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Excellent. That brings us up to our discussion period. Any discussion? Okay. Roll call vote for approval.
Holt,
Yes.
Nikki,
Yes.
Sarah,
Yes.
Phillips.
Yes.
Hensley.
Yes.
Bradford.
Yes.
Tatum.
Yes.
Lemmings.
Yes.
Bass.
Yes.
O 2022-36.
Okay. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to recess for a few minutes while we prepare that additional resolution.
Motion granted. Second.
Any opposed? Everyone back?
Almost.
Excellent. We'll call the meeting back to order. And our next resolution is sponsored by Justice Brian Tatum.
Be it resolved by the Quorum Court of the County of Van Buren, State of Arkansas, resolution to be entitled, Resolution amending Resolution R 2022-24, authorizing the following project to be approved and for the project to be paid from funds received through the American Rescue Plan. First Division Court Sound System Project with a budget not to exceed $4,500. Whereas the Budget Committee has approved the following expense to be forwarded to the full Quorum Court for approval, and whereas federal procurement policies will be followed for the purchasing, and whereas the price of equipment has increased since the original approval of R 22-24, which was for $2,500, and whereas there is a need to approve this project. Therefore, be it resolved by the Quorum Court, Van Buren County, Arkansas, that the cost associated with purchasing and installing a sound system for the First Division Court is hereby approved with a budget not to exceed $4,500. Any related costs associated with the procurement and installation of this project shall be approved so long as the project stays within the budget total. Funds shall be transferred in the proper line item through the Van Buren County Court order, which shall be prepared by the county judge and recorded in the office of the county clerk. I move to approve as written.
Second.
A motion is second to adopt this ordinance. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Do Do I hear a motion to approve the transfers?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the transfers. Any discussion? All in favor of approving the transfers, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
What is the number on this resolution?
Oh, sorry.
R 2022-45.
Sorry. Any other discussion? Any public comment? Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.